we're gonna have these conversations a whole lot more now that you're older and you're going into middle school and everything. The older you get, the more we talk. But I need you to understand, you know, never really thought that as a parent we will have to have these kind of conversations with our children, especially. I mean, but it have to be done. It just have to be done. This is something that has to happen. I need you to know. Slide over a little bit. Okay, right there is good. I need you to understand something, son. We live in a world that is so different from the way I was growing, the way I was when I grew up. You know, back then when I grew up, and I know hearing these stories, your parents talking about the way they were when they was kids, it might seem boring, but I want you to take the history of what I'm trying to say to you to the present and bring it into the future to understand what's happening, the change. Figure out the change. I'm gonna tell you to figure out the change, you will understand the difference. So, when I was growing up, the neighbors knew each other. We did. We knew each other. We can go knock on the neighbor's door, and the neighbor will open up the door without hesitation. Now, you go knock on the neighbor's door, they're not going to even answer. And if they got these cameras and stuff, they're going to see you through the door and then still don't answer. And then sometimes these people are so dangerous to where they shooting through the dang door. Sad, but it's the truth. You're gonna have more privilege as you are getting older. That means you're not gonna be with us 24/7. You're gonna get to go and walk to your friend's house and stuff like that. And I'm serious when I say about pay attention to your surroundings. Look around. Don't be on the phone walking with your head down like this and then you don't know what's happening on the side of you or behind you or even in front of you. When you are walking down the street, your head should be looking at everything that's around you. You should see it and not walk up on it being surprised. So, I'm glad that y'all school are not letting y'all have y'all cell phones and stuff like that. I'm actually glad about that because you get the opportunity to see what it was like when I was in school. We didn't have cell phones. Cell phones didn't exist. Y'all controlled by these phones. And I mean, you're so controlled by them to where you don't even know how to function without it. That's not good. So that's a good thing your school is making sure that y'all are not going to be occupied with the phone. But anyways, what I really want to talk to you about is survival. You shouldn't even have to be worried about this stuff, but you have to be worried about it because of the fact that it's happening to y'all young black boys and Latino boys as well. It's happening over and over again constantly where y'all are targeted. You're a target. You are a target. And the reason why they targeting y'all is because y'all the one who carry the seed. The seed is inside of you. That seed that makes more of you. More people like you. Babies. And the more you're able to produce and reproduce and keep reproducing, your race would never be extinct. Now the problem that I'm learning and I'm paying attention to is that y'all are mixing race. Like you going with a white girl or a Mexican or anybody that's not of your race. That's called mixing. Personally, I like it. I'm being straight up. I think that I used to think when I was younger, when I was in high school, because I grew up in San Antonio and a lot of black was mixing with the Hispanic and some white or whatever. I felt like that was a way to get rid of racism. If you have mixed race babies, then you can't say, oh, you're just black or you're just white or whatever. You couldn't just say that because you're a mixture of things. But I understand the dynamics of when it comes down to staying with your own kind of people, depending on what's happening in your area, in your society, all that. That we'll talk about another time. That's not even an issue, but I know you're gonna start liking girls. Well, you already like girls, but I know you're gonna start calling yourself having another girlfriend and all that stuff. And it's natural. It's a natural way of life. It's what it is. But I need for you to understand when it comes down to making decisions, you're gonna have to use your head and not your body. Your head is gonna be the one that's make the right decisions. Your body is gonna make wrong decisions. Do you understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Do you really understand? Explain to me what I'm saying about that part.
Is that like is
Just put him down. Okay.
Is that like when I have a feeling to do something, I have to think about it instead of just going for right away?
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Don't go off your feelings, because feelings change. Feelings change in an instant. But when you think it through, really, really think it through, then you can reason with yourself about what your decisions are and why you're making the decision you're making. And then you can see the outcome that it could bring. And I'm talking about, you know for a fact, you know the difference between right and wrong. And then you go and you make a decision based off of your feelings because it feels good, even though it's wrong. Yeah, you end up dealing with the consequences behind it. But if you would have just started through, you could have avoided it. You could have avoided it. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
So when it comes down to, I know when I was growing up, we had a community. We had people that actually cared about us. Stop, Cinnamon, stop. Give me this. We had people who actually cared about us, and I mean really cared. So they looked after all the children in the neighborhood. They knew each child's parent and grandparents, for that matter. They even knew the uncles and aunts and stuff. You know, what's funny?
No, I'm just listening to what you were saying.
You're laughing about it.
I know.
But I'm serious. We did. So if something happened, whoever the adult is knew who to go to for that particular child. But what we are losing, what we don't have now, is we don't have unity. Unity is the most dangerous thing any community can have, is to be united. And the reason why I say that it's dangerous, because if a wow, you found it. Look at a little smart thing. You found it. Okay, but you can't have it. If a community is a group of people that lives around each other. So if a community was to unite together under one common ground, and that is to make sure that each person in that community is safe. Each person in that community, they know each other. They know about each other. They ain't gotta be in each other's business and stuff. That's different. But I'm talking about they know enough about each other that they feel safe with each other and they look after one another. And so when someone come into that area or into that community and try to start making changes or mess with them, they can stand together as a collective whole. That's what is missing with us as Black people, Hispanic people. Even a lot of Hispanic people do. They are what you call family oriented and everything. But I'm talking about, it ain't just about blood family. It's about people as a whole. If we were to unite, really care about each other, we will protect each other. And that will stop everyone on the outside who are an enemy, who are a foe to us, will stop them from being able to do the things that they do to us. But we don't have that. So what do you do in a situation like that? If you don't have it, what do? You can do one or two things. You can try to create it, But then it's hard to create something when everybody don't feel the same way you feel or think the way you think. That's hard to do. The problem with that is that we have what you call these leaders. They get together because they believe what they believe. And then other people believe in what they believe in, and before you know it, then you got a whole group of people who believe in the same thing. One problem with that is that you got other people on the outside who don't care about it. And they want to destroy it because they know what it can become if you don't destroy it. For instance, when you talk about all the civil rights leaders, how they fought so hard to break our spirit, our ancestors, their spirits. Same thing with even with the Black Panthers. I know you know nothing about that, but we'll learn about that later time. But what I'm trying to say is that once the others on the outside find out that we are united and we don't really care about what happened to us, we just not gonna let them treat us no any kind of way, then that's when the fear comes on their side, and that's when they want to try to hurt you and kill you because they're afraid of you. All I'm gonna tell you is you need to keep in mind in your head that you are who you are because God created you that way. You don't have no control over your skin color, your hair texture. Even if you try to change your hair texture, that ain't gonna work because it's gonna grow out the same way God designed it to do. Be proud of being Black. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of your heritage and your culture. Be proud of you. But you can make a difference and you can make some changes if you see fit that things need to change. But you have to be willing to go through the sacrifice, because the sacrifice always comes with change. Always. I don't know what God has in store for you, but I know He do. But what I do know is that you have a choice. You have a choice. Whatever you choose to do with your life is yours. Use your brain. Use your brain. Don't forget your teaching, what we're teaching you, what you learn, what you also learn from others, because you ain't going to just learn from me and your pops. You're going to learn from other people too. How you can distinguish the difference between what you should really go for is what's right and what's wrong. What is the right thing to do, what's the wrong thing to do. For instance, you got these cops out here, they pulling people over. And now this is my personal opinion, but I'm just going to tell you what it is so you can weigh the options as you get older. A cop pull you over, he tell you to get out the car. I'm sorry, but no, you do not have to just do what they say you to do, but you got to realize it comes with a price if you don't do what they say to do. Are you willing to deal with that price? Think about this. The cop is on duty, so he's actually doing his job. Now, he might be doing it wrong. He could be doing it wrong. But then you got laws that's put in place that can help you fight that. Your goal is to live through that situation. Survive it. Survive it so you can go and fight it the next day. See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Survive. Always remember that word, survive, 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 survive. Then you can go and fight it. You can get you a good lawyer and you can fight the case. Now, there's some Cajuns where you might not even win the case. But my opinion, you did win because you're still alive. You won with your life. You still got your life. So you actually won the case because you're still alive. You might not get it the way you want it, but the key thing here is to stay alive. I don't want to be burying you because you decide to buck the system. I want to buck it knowing that you could fight it a better way. You have anything to say?
No, I'm just really just thinking about all this stuff right now.
I know you're just thinking, if it's too much or too heavy, please tell me, let me know. I can slow it down, but the world is moving fast, so I can't keep it too slow. And I don't want you to grow up being naive, not knowing what to do in a situation because you wasn't told what you could do or what you should do. You know, I had a situation when a female cop harassed me. I never forget that. I would never forget it. It was my 18th birthday. I just turned 18. I was excited. I had bought this outfit, and yeah, it was on the sexy side, a little provocative, but you know, actually it wasn't really that provocative. But then I think about it, because it was a skirt with a top, it just showed my stomach. But at the same time, I had to shake for it. I was walking down the street. I think that's what really made her mess with me. But I saw her when I was on the front porch of my house, sitting out there on my porch. She rolled by and I just waved at her and her partner, because I didn't think nothing of it. I thought it was just something, you know, nice. She looked at me. She gave me this look. She didn't wave back. So I started walking to the apartment where Guardian stayed at, because I wanted to go and see her. And she wasn't there. Her mom told me that she was somewhere else. I knew where she was, so I started walking towards those apartments, and that's when the cop stopped me. And she was like, "Come here." She was in the middle of the road on the opposite side of me, and I walked up to her, and I'm like, "Hey," I didn't know what to say. I'm like, "Yes." I thought maybe she was just gonna ask simple questions, but she was like, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to go meet up with my cousin. She's over there at those apartments over there." And she was like, "I just saw you. You know, that ain't what you're doing. You out here prostituting." I said, "No, I'm not. I don't prostitute." Like, that offended me. Big time. See, I didn't know what to do in those situations then. I had no idea on what to do. So my emotions took over. And she was like, "I saw you the other day walking down the street." I said, "No, you didn't. You didn't see me walking down the street the other day." She said, "Yes, I did." I said, "No, you didn't." And she was like, "Yes, I did." I said, "What time?" And she said the time. I said, "No, I was at work, because I'm working at Sonic Drive-In." I said, "No, I was at work. I can prove that. I can prove that." I said, "I do not walk up and down no street. No, I'm not a prostitute." Oh, she was like, "Yes, you are, and I'm going to arrest you." "You're going to arrest me for what? You ain't catch me do anything." Oh, I was, and I know I feel like I'm almost back there again, because it really, really shocked me, and it pissed me off, and I was hurt. And I had just turned 18, and I was thinking, like, is this what it's going to be like being a grown-up? I'm going to get harassed by police officers and stuff. She had a partner with her, a male partner. He was Chinese or whatever. He didn't even say anything. And I was thinking to myself, like, do you even see how she's acting towards me? So when I didn't get arrested, she said, "I'm going to write you a ticket for jaywalking." How you go from me being a prostitute to take me to jail to write me a ticket for jaywalking? Because I can prove that I was actually at work. I think that's what made her think, like, well, shoot. Because she knew she didn't see me. I had just moved back to Bay City from San Antonio. Just moved back there. Wasn't there that long. And that was my first time seeing her. And I think that was her first time seeing me. And I think that's why she was, like, harassing me, because I'm new. I wasn't new. I'm from that place. So why? You knew. That's how I thought about it. Well, I got a ticket. I remember coming home. I ran home. I was hot. I was crying. I slammed the door. My mom was in the house. She was like, "What's going on?" I told her what was happening. And she was like, "Calm down, calm down." I said, "Nah, this ain't right. This ain't right. I'm going to fight this." Well, I did fight it. The judge did throw it out. Oh my God, it didn't stop there. She saw me again. This time I'm coming from work. In uniform now. And she pulls me over again. And this time it's like 10 o'clock at night because I closed. Sonic Driving used to close around that time, so I closed the store. And here she comes, pulling up on the side of me. And this time she's with a female, but I don't think this was a female officer because that woman was out of uniform. She didn't have no detective clothes on, like she had on plain clothes like me and you have. But she was in uniform in her patrol car. And she said, yeah, did you take care of that ticket? Yeah, I gotta be honest with you. I had a smart mouth. And I said to her, yeah, I did take care of that ticket. I just threw it out because you lied. Oh, I should have said that, but I did. She said, you calling me a liar? Oh, man. She said, you calling me a liar? You calling me a liar? And she stopped the car because she was riding on the side of it. She stopped the car. She said, come here. And I was like, oh, my God. This is a white lady. She was a white woman.
Yeah, I can too.
And I came up to her, and she started patting me down. You got weapons on you? You got any weapons on you? I said, I'm in uniform. Like, come on. Seriously? I said, why are you harassing me? What did I do to you? I don't even know you. You don't even know me. I'm from here. You treated me like I'm not from this place. I was raised here. I just happened to move away for 3 years and come back. And she was like, whatever. She just kept patting me down. And she was talking to the other lady. I don't know if she was an officer or not, but she was talking to the other lady. And she said to her, she said, yeah, this girl here, she got a smart mouth. Her exact words. Yeah, this girl here, she got a smart mouth. She think that she all pretty and stuff, that she gonna walk down the street looking like she was looking all sexy. I don't like that, not on my street. And I'm like, what? Did she say I'm walking down the street looking pretty, all sexy, not on her street? And I say, really? This what this is about? And she said, you better not let me see you walking up and down these streets no more, because every time I see you, I'm going to stop you, and I'm going to mess with you. And I said, what did I do to you? I didn't do anything to you. But yet you treated me like I done something to you. And she got it back in her car, and she left. I went home. I was crying. I was like, I got to get out of here. That's when I made up my mind to leave Bay City. I said, I gotta get out of here. Because Bay City's too small. Of course you're gonna see me again. And at that time, there was no cell phones that I can record what this woman was doing. And even the people who witnessed it was walking down the street. They didn't say nothing. They just kept on walking. I remember one guy, he said, oh, I saw her messing with you. And I said, you saw her, but you didn't say nothing. I mean, come on. And then another person said, man, we can't stand that officer. She's always messing with the black girls. Always. I think she's gay. I think she like y'all. But she does it every time. And I say, but you didn't say nothing. Ain't gonna lie, that shit hurt.
To this day, I still get pissed off about that. To this very day. So when I see, I'm okay. I'm okay. When I see these officers messing with y'all, it just reminds me of what I went through. So when I talk to you, son, about this stuff, it's serious. So don't take it as a joke. Don't take it lightly. Be careful how you talk to them and try to survive the situation, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Please. I didn't know I could get emotional, but it really bothers me. I'm gonna calm down. I don't talk about it because I try to block it out of my mind like it didn't happen. But the more and more I see these videos of how these cops be doing y'all, these are harassing y'all and getting away with the stuff that they do, it makes me angry. But I know that God says, vengeance is mine, says the Lord. And I actually believe him because It's been plenty times in my past that God has fought my battles. I mean, really fought my battles. And that happened when I was 18 years old. I'm 47 years old now. And I went back and I asked about that cop. I asked about her. They told me she was no longer working there anymore, that she had too many situations and whatever. I'm pretty sure she had a lot of situations. And that she was no longer working there. And I don't know if she's still a cop somewhere else, but I know there she's not there no more. And I was like, oh my God. But I'm telling you, son, please, whatever you do, do not take these officers as a joke, because they think that they can get away with the stuff that they're doing because they have on a badge and a gun, and they stick up for each other. See, they united. That's what I'm talking about. Their unity is dangerous. That's the part I'm actually talking about that's dangerous. The unity. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. That right there. When you unite together, you can fight together. No matter what. You unite together, you can fight together. But if you're separate and you're apart, you can't fight. You can't fight by yourself. You gotta have a strong, united front with you, a whole team. Somebody who believes in what you believe with you, what you believe, and you can fight. Yep, that was my first encounter that I had. Actually, the only encounter. Nothing like that happened to me ever again. But I always think back and say, maybe I should have fought harder. But then I say, no, if I fought harder, I probably wouldn't be here today. She probably would have killed me. She probably would have found a way to track me down. And I ain't say track me down another city, because I left from there and went back to San Antonio. I moved out. I moved out of my mama's house. I said, Mom, I gotta go. I can't live here no more. I wrote her a letter and I said, I got to go. I caught the bus, caught that Greyhound, and I went on back to San Antonio while she stayed there in Bay City. I said, ain't no way I'm gonna stay here and be harassed every time I walk out the door. Bay City too small of a town to not be harassed. And then people just stand by and just watch. Heck no. At least San Antonio was a bigger city to where I can go and not be around the same people all the time or see the same faces all the time. So that's why I left my mama's house. I left for that reason. That was actually the straw that broke the camel's back for me. That was the actual thing that made me say, I gotta get out of here. I can't be in a spot like this. I'm at the beginning of my life. To be on my own, stop doing him like that. Let go of him. So I have to get out of there. So sometimes in your life, if you're in a situation where things just keep, or you know that it's dangerous, sometimes you gotta leave.
Yeah.
It's dangerous, you gotta leave. Can't stick around in something that's gonna keep pulling you in a trap. You hear me?
Yes.
That goes with your friends, people that you know. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Just like that man that was...
Here, this is your towel, so let me chew on that. Huh? Just like what?
Just like that man that was getting abused by the cops every day, and it was on the news, so he decided to move all the way to Florida. He was here in Texas.
Shoot, Florida's rules are no different from Texas rules. I don't think they're a little worse, to be honest. They got that stand your ground. All you gotta do is say, I feel ready for my life, and you get away with murder. I wouldn't have moved to no Florida. Not at all. Not at all.